Pop, persuadable. Why was the janitor late to their job interview? Because they overswept. Oh, that's so dumb. I googled that. How are you all doing? Trying to keep this down to a nice tame video. I don't feel like I have to do any crazy yelling or anything ridiculous. So lately, I've been playing Copycat, which included a 9.5-hour stream on Saturday. And I've become fascinated with the game. See, the past 2 months have been incredibly stressful. Just between the tournament, between real life job. I mean, I'm so unbelievably busy. Plus, we got the Identity 5 second YouTube channel out there. And there's a lot just happening, and it's all been good for the most part. Some bad, but mostly good. But I barely have any time. So to play this game has been extremely stress-free. Just because I know that COA is coming up. I don't really feel like I want to participate in that. I don't feel like I want to rank up. And so I was playing this on Asia. Sometimes I play it on NAEU, sometimes I play it on Asia. Really just practicing, just learning all the different characters, how to play them. And one of the most annoying characters was Janitor. And I didn't really know how to play Janitor. In fact, I was on live feed and I was bitching about Janitor because that's what I'm good at, complaining. In my mind, I'm like, how do you get 4 sweeps, right? So in order to win this, you have to get 4 sweeps. And that can be incredibly difficult, especially with the amount of skills out there, like, guard. If you kill guard, they immediately, die and you go into a meeting. Then you have the fireworks and all those. So I think I finally found a strategy, and this is the first time I put it to use. And this was a regular quick match, so no custom lobby on this. What I realized with Janitor is that every time somebody dies, you get that blue indicator, and it looks like it goes across the entire map. So unlike Friar and other characters where there's a radius, 20 meters, 30 meters, whatever the case may be, this seems like it's all across the map. So I was like, what I decided to do was really position myself in a manner where whenever somebody dies and I get that blue indicator, I can immediately run towards them. And so really in that dining room area is where I like to kind of lounge around. And then depending on, I try to pay attention to the traffic flow. And that kind of gives me an idea of where I should be gravitating towards, especially when people turn the lights out, which you have to be very careful with, obviously, so you don't die. But that's how I really started to focus on this, was getting myself in a position where when there is a death, depending on the circumstances, I can be in a position to try to sweep it up. Not only that, you can actually be in a position to get rid of copycats, because when a copycat kills somebody, right, that blue indicator allows you to position yourself in a manner where you actually may see them run away from the body. Because a good copycat player is going to be able to make sure that there's nobody around them, depending on the circumstances. It's not always true. And right when you get that blue indicator, anybody running away, you'll see that you'll have the ability to provide that information to the team. And that's what's going to happen towards the end of the game. And you're going to see how I catch somebody red-handed. But yeah, so that's really how I've started to play Janitor. Trying to chill out between the dining room and sometimes I'll go back and forth, make it look like I'm doing objectives, and then you're in such a popular area that unless the lights go out, most of the time you're going to be safe. Now, of course, you have to be careful with the strategy because people are aware that typically your tasks are making you go across the map. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. And so as this map progresses, you're going to see that I get better at multitasking, especially because I see people at the cameras. And what's funny about this match here is that in the beginning there, I could have gotten 2 sweeps. And like 2 seconds were left, or 1 second was left, and somebody called a meeting, and I'm like, oh, damn. And then depending on the circumstances, I haven't really figured out when I want to call for a meeting and when I don't. Um, Especially if I sweep them up. So, because then you can kind of let the round continue going, but then you got to be worried about Vagrant. So, I don't know. I feel like on Saturday, which was yesterday, so I don't know when I'm going to be posting this. I'll probably post this on Tuesday. I got a fire animated music video coming out tomorrow. It's a good one. But, yeah, I think that my opinion of Janitor may have changed. um, and then, of course, you got to be careful about the copycats as well because they're going to want to kill you. I felt like 4 sweeps was very difficult. I don't know if it's different in the 10-person mode. I would presume that it is the same. But I remember first looking at this, my original opinion on Janitor was that it was very incredibly difficult to get 4 sweeps. Maybe it is. But on the same hand, you're going to see in this game, and this is a very long game, I have this sped up to like 2 times. And nobody used voice chat in this game, so you're not really missing anything. When you play this game on the Asia server, so the Asia server has multiple regions, like Southeast Asia, Japan, etc. I don't know what all of your ping will be, but my ping is usually pretty manageable. It's usually under 200, which is okay for this game mode. It's perfectly fine. But what's interesting about the Asia server is that when you go there and play, not a lot of people use the voice chat. Not that I've come across to, but most people are typing away because there's a lot of different languages that are over there. You'll see predominantly Japanese, Korean, and you'll even see Chinese as well. So a lot of people tend to ask people to stick to texting because then you can use the translator. So that's not atypical to see somebody asking you to type instead. But my point is that on the Asia server, people are much more like, they're very concise. They're very like, stick to the game, get your point across, move forward. Whereas like on the NAEU, we tend to be a little bit more silly. We tend to role play. We tend to joke around. And I think that's also because predominantly we share the same language for the most part. In America and Europe and Canada, and of course that's not true either. You got French, German, Spanish, etc. So I know I'm wrong on that, but just bear with me on that. So what I would recommend you all doing is that if you are a big Copycat fan like I am, remember that you can go to the Asia server. It's the same exact app that you're already using. Right before you click the login button, right when you load the app up, there will be a button in the bottom right hand corner, and it'll ask you which server, and you can switch that back and forth between Asia and NAEU. So sometimes Copycat is going on Asia, whereas it's not in NAEU, and vice versa. And that's what I tend to do sometimes, just because, like I said, going back to our other conversation, guys, I am just not in the mood to try to shoutcast or to try to coach or to try to be a professional player. I've done that for so many years. And, I like to shoutcast unprofessionally. I like to do that on my own time. I don't like having official partnerships. I actually saw somebody ask that question, Persuade, do you have any intentions of partnering back with NetEase? And the answer is probably no. I really just... I like my privacy. I like my alone time. That's why you see me playing solo so much. So playing Copycat, if any of you ever want to play, let me know on Discord. I'm going to be on my Discord much more. But what you're going to see right here, getting back into the gameplay, is the final clutch. Okay. So you're gonna see that I actually do a task here. You know, I'm making sure that you're gonna see me kind of stand here and pretend like I'm doing an objective. And now watch this right here, okay? You're gonna see I'm running towards the cipher machine, okay? And now I'm backing towards this area, right? I don't want to make it obvious. I don't see any blue marks yet. So you can get a little wary of number 4. And then you're gonna see this blue indicator pop up. So right here, I'm pretending like I'm doing a task. And that's what you'll see me do a lot, pretending that I'm doing tasks. So you should definitely get used to where these spots are. Okay, look at the blue indicator. Watch this. Watch me catch them red-handed. See? Now, normally I'd be able to do that. But there's 2 bodies here. So now I'm freaking out. And I'm like, uh-oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How do I do this? They don't know I'm a janitor. The janitor, win. So what I was trying to do there is make, like, pretending that I was friendly, hence the sticker. But really I was just trying to buy time so I could use my ability again. Yeah, I outplayed him. See you soon, boo-boos.